So, usually when I start off my videos, I'm always like, one, two, three, go. And I kind of hype myself up with that and I jump right into it. So it's, I guess behind the scenes, not really too much. It's just, just that little one nuance that I do. But um, yeah, I just kind of roll with it. I don't necessarily have too many scripts. It's just more so based off of what I experience and talk about the fragrances that way. But the one thing in 2024 that I've learned is silence your DM phone before you start recording. And on that note, let's start the video. Welcome back, guys. So 2024 is coming to an end. I'm sure by the time that you guys see this, it'll actually be 2025. So I just want to wish everybody a happy New Year's. This video is more of a reflection on lessons that I've learned throughout being a YouTube content creator and also a fragrance collector, amongst other things. But I'm also going to show you 5 fragrances. Let me just make sure, yeah. 5 fragrances in my collection that have blown my mind for 2024 that I'm very fortunate to own. So stay tuned for that. But first and foremost, I just want to say thank you guys. We started the channel back in October of 2023. 1 follower. Well, 0 followers to really start off with. And getting that 1 follower to 10 to 100 was something else. It was, it was a lot of effort, a lot of, long hours learning, number one, how to film. I have 0 film knowledge, photography knowledge coming into this. And I took it upon myself to really challenge myself to learn how to operate a camera, learn how to, differentiate different type of lenses, learn how to actually film slow-mo and make it look good as opposed to choppy. So to me, when I first started YouTube, it was more of a project to learn something new, more so than talk about fragrances. This is just, it happens to be that I love fragrance, and that was kind of the point of emphasis that I really wanted to highlight. So I guess it kind of just works. So, just I guess a little backstory of, why I kind of got into this. But needless to say, we've surpassed 1,000 subscribers. To me, in my mind, it's crazy. I would have never thought that a person like me would have had a voice in such a huge space where there's so many influencers who are doing their thing, who have their, their own following, who have, their own level of respect that people enjoy watching, and I'd kind of be a part of it. And I know, at this point, like 1,000 isn't much, but I started with 0. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't buy anything. I didn't buy views. I didn't buy subscribers. Every single person who is subscribed to this channel has done so organically and willingly and wanting to actually like listen to, what I have to say, which is amazing. It's amazing. It still feels surreal. So I just want to say thank you guys. And for everybody who's joined the channel, anybody who's planning on joining the channel, if you do ever go back and watch this, I just want to say thank you, and hopefully wish you guys all the best for 2025. Now, growing as a fragrance collector has been crazy as well. It's been expensive as well. But, in the space, buying and selling is something that happens quite a bit. And, I've kind of worked my way up to the collection that I've kind of wanted and I think overindulged in. So, maybe 2025 might be a year where we figure out how to kind of shrink the collection and make it a little bit more purposeful, a little bit more meaningful, and bring the grails out, right? To showcase you guys and really kind of, kind of go on a more informative type of standpoint with some of the content and videos. And with that being said, a lot of analysis will happen with the videos that have done well and the videos that have not done well. And we'll try and figure out how to make sure that the value that food and fragrances brings to you guys is exactly what you're looking for and surpasses your expectations. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. Now, again, growing as a fragrance collector, I think this year has been nuts. I've gotten to experience crazy new houses, artisanal houses that have done so well in the space, and I've been fortunate to build relationships there, and really help support the discovery aspect of what an artisanal perfume or fragrance can be. And then realistically, given the fact that it is available, hold it to the standard of saying that, if you're technically buying a $400, $500 perfume, such as an LV, like a Louis Vuitton, how does it compare, right? What are maybe some things that we're not looking at when we buy said perfumes? Because, scent profile, and, things, yada, 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 things like that. We'll touch upon that in 2025. But really kind of make the connection and say, okay, does it make sense to kind of splurge on something? Then kind of, accept it for what it is because everybody else is getting it. So, with that thought process being unlocked, I've dived deep into the artisanal. I've gotten into the Henry Jacques. I've gotten into the Boudiccias this year. And it's been something. It's been something. And I'm sure, as you guys can tell, always the collection is growing and getting a little bit more refined. So with that being said, let's talk about 5 fragrances that kind of blew my mind this year. And I guess let's jump into the first one. We're going to be talking about this one because so there's a wonderful lady that I speak with in our group. I don't know if she wants me to name drop her, I won't. But in the Canadian group, she's huge into collecting Chanel, Guerlain's, Dior's. And I remember first getting a sample of some Chanel, Les Exclusives from her. And one that really stuck out to me and one that I really, really enjoyed was this one here. And this is Chanel's Jersey. And this is from the Privé line. Jersey was a fragrance that blew my mind because I didn't necessarily think I would have loved the note of, iris or kind of like the old-fashioned style of kind of how Chanel does their fragrances. But this one was done so well. It's just so clean. It's so vintage. It's so classical smelling. It's something to me that only Chanel could do. And I haven't found this type of feeling in other fragrances, especially in the ones behind me. And it made me kind of go on a binge. I don't know if you could see it, maybe down low. Nah. But I ended up picking up quite a bit of the Chanel line. And although I do see that there is a tiny bit of redundancies in some of the Chanels, I do enjoy them a lot. And Jersey being one of those. The lavender in here is really, really nice. It's such a beautiful fougere, vintage, classical fragrance that differs so much from like the Beau de Jour from Tom Ford. The quality, in my opinion, is just night and day different than a designer fragrance. The Privé, I feel like, takes it into its own line. And I remember the first time that I kind of got into fragrances, one of the SAs, the sales associates, was telling me, she's like, keep your eye out on the houses that actually do the perfumery. not the ones that repackage and sell you shit. And at that point, it didn't really hit me. I didn't necessarily know what they were saying. I'm like, what are you talking about? They probably all have their own. But no. This one, you could tell. It's just so good. It's so classical. I think it's a fragrance that is worth checking out. It's worth, in my opinion, owning. I don't necessarily think it's safe blind buy. You kind of got to be into the Chanel type of feel. But to me, I think Jersey is just so clean. It's such a well put together fragrance. It feels like a fresh, clean cut, fresh shave type of fragrance that's just so inviting, so well put together, and I just don't see it being offensive at all. So Jersey to me, I think, was one of the fragrances that really sparked my thought process on how to kind of change the way that I look at building out my collection and start, maybe taking a look at thinning down some of the fougères that I thought that I needed to have just for the sake of having, and really just kind of, dedicate that to specifically Jersey from Chanel. Now, we'll move on to the second one. The second one is, I got this fragrance during the time that YSL's Baby Cat was the buzz. I'm pretty sure it still is. I'm pretty sure people still love Baby Cat. But for me personally, I think it was just so blah. I'm still going to stand by it. I'm pretty sure a lot of people love Baby Cat and yada, yada, yada. To me, I thought it was blah. And I was on a quest to really kind of find a nice vanilla. At that time, I had Grand Soir from MFK, and I thought that was very, very nice. I just thought it was very linear. Then I think I was out with one of my good friends. Him and I, we went to this place in Mississauga. And I just decided to kind of stop in and test smell this. And this is from the house of Jvo. And this is Fire at Will. Now, I remember smelling this one, and this one was really, really good. This one was really, 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 really good. There's a depth of vanilla. There's a little bit of the airiness for the vanilla. It doesn't smell too gourmandy. It doesn't smell boring whatsoever. I think the quality of Jvo's fragrances do not get talked about at all, in my honest opinion. I think the vanilla is nice and sweet. I think it's very warm and very comforting. I think it's, it's something that, I love hoodies. Starting to get into cardigans. But, for me, I think this is a beautiful hoodie type of fragrance where you want to feel cozy, you want to feel comfortable. You could wear this when you're cozying up with somebody. I think you could wear this if you just want to chill by yourself. And I think with a crackling fireplace, with that kind of going on in the background, I think Fire at Will is just remarkable. It's a mood setter for me. I think, having a fragrance like this where, again, you're familiar with the DNA, but it enhances the mood when you're doing something relative to kind of like what you're looking for, like what you're doing in that particular time and place. I think this type of fragrance is definitely something, worth looking into. We have this one awesome place at Shops at Don Mills in Toronto. Where during the cooler months, they have outdoor fireplaces. This is a fragrance that I'd crack open and wear. It's beautiful. It's inviting. It's beautiful. It's comforting. And it's more for you and for others, that can appreciate it than kind of going out mass appeal. And that's why I didn't much care for Baby Cat. I just thought YSL's Baby Cat was just meh. It didn't do too much for me. This one over here, this one is high quality. Jvo, definitely take a look into the house. A lot of good bangers there. Now, this third fragrance that we're going to talk about is a fragrance that I've always had my eye on. I didn't get a full bottle of it because I did hear that it was refillable. However, finding out where it's refillable is going to be a little bit more troublesome. So I do wish I had a full bottle of it, but here we are. This is one of my favorite finds for the year. And this is Guerlain's Neroli Utre Noir. Now, Utre Noir is beautiful. If you're a huge fan of tea scents, this is just ridiculously good. It's so zenful. It's so peaceful. You get this wonderful neroli. It's a calm happiness. It's a zen. It kind of almost reminds me of, I don't want to downplay it and say like it's like a hotel scent that they kind of pump through the air vents to really make you calm, but that's kind of what it feels like. And that's not a bad thing. To wear this fragrance, I think the wearing is just remarkable, especially when you get that waft in the air. There is nothing like it. I think it's so well done. It's so crisp. It's so zenful. It's so peaceful. This is, again, another mood setting fragrance where I just kind of want to be calm. I know I'm going to smell amazing. I think it has sort of like a black tea type of feel to it, where it feels, a little bit clean. You get the tea leaves in there. You get that beautiful neroli in there. I think it's just so tranquil. That's the best way that I could put it. Oh, it's done so well. And Guerlain's, honestly, Guerlain's quality, in my opinion, I think is very top notch. Whether you're going for, the lower end Guerlain's, like the L'Homme Ideals, or you're going for the Privés over here. Neroli Utre Noir, I think, is a masterful fragrance. Scent profile alone, I'd probably give it a solid 9.5 out of 10. For real. For real. Get your nose on this one. I think it's definitely worth checking out. Speaking of tea fragrances, this is one of my more prouder fragrances in my collection. This is just something that made me emotional when I first smelt it, because this is exactly what I was looking for. This is, to me, scent-wise, this is, I think, a 10 out of 10. This is hands down. If I could realistically, like if I'm hyped up, I'd give this like a 12 out of 10. But realistically, oh my God, I just opened the cap and you smell it. This is Jenko Store's Sunset in Hanan. Sunset in Hanan is just wonderful. It's almost like the tea in this fragrance is ridiculous. It's almost medicinal. The oud is so smooth. This is a transportive fragrance. To me, where this transports me to is a wonderful mountaintop overlooking a beautiful valley. The clouds are there. The weather is a little bit damp, but not damp to the sense of depressing, but damp in the sense of mythical. You have clouds, you have rain pouring, hitting maybe this like metallic hamper over your head. You have a beautiful setting, a mat laid down, incense sticks in the background, just kind of doing their thing. And the sound is just the rain, the boiling kettle of tea. You have two seats, front to front, face to face, and you're just overlooking this wonderful scenery, birds kind of flying off in the far distance, and it's just, there's nothing else. There's nothing else around you. That's what this feels like. And that's why it makes me emotional, because it's just like, damn, like I would really like to experience something like that once in my life. That's like a bucket list thing for me. And this fragrance just does that. It's medicinal, has a beautiful sweetness in here. It has that beautiful tea note in here that's just remarkable, remarkable stuff. The quality is ridiculous. And literally 2 sprays of this and you're finished for the day. You're wearing this for the day. And when it circulates and it comes back around, it comes back around, whatever you're doing, it will pull you out of that to appreciate this type of fragrance. You know, there's very few fragrances that do that. And this one to me, I think, is that. It's such a wonderful fragrance. Jenko store, unfortunately, it is sold out. I do apologize again, showing you a fragrance that you won't be able to get unless you get it off of somebody. But I highly doubt that you'd find this for sale, because if it does go for sale, I'd probably buy the second bottle of it. Ridiculous. 800 USD for something like this, 30 ml. So yeah, it is expensive, but the quality is by far second to none. It's ridiculous. I would have never thought that the quality in perfumery could be stretched to that. So that's why this fragrance is on the list. And I think this is the last one. Yeah, last but not least, we're going to talk about Bortnikov's Mus Kabib. I love when I bring this fragrance up, because everybody goes to like Kabib from UFC. I'm not even going to butcher his last name because I'm afraid that he might come to my house and kick my ass straight. But this is such a regal fragrance. This is such a wonderful fragrance. The musk in here is done so well. The spices are done so well. I never would have thought in my entire fragrance journey I would have ever came to buying a Bortnikov. Because I remember when I was first shown a Bortnikov, I was fairly new into the fragrance game, and I didn't have an understanding of notes, blending, and stuff like that. I just, I wanted to wear what was in. And I smelled Sayat Nova, no, not Sayat Nova, sorry, Sans Fleur, which is a very like rum and coke type of fragrance. And that was a lot, like that was punchy. So I never would have thought I would have like gone back to re-explore Bortnikov, but Mus Kabib, I've heard nothing but great things. And I just decided, yo, let's go. Let's do it. In my opinion, I think this is probably one of the best in the entire line. And if you're looking for a fragrance to add into your collection, I wouldn't even hesitate on this one. This is wonderful stuff. It's regal. It's I'm here type of fragrance. It's like a power play type of fragrance, in my honest opinion. In my if you're familiar with like Raja's Diaghilev or Chypre Extraordinaire, that type of fragrance where like it's just there's sharpness to it, there's regality to it, there's this sense of like confidence to it. That's exactly where I'm putting Mus Kabib for sure. Presentation is out of this world, especially when you get the coffrets with these types of fragrances. But this is a fragrance, again, that took me to a different elevated place that, I was very happy to add into my collection this year and really explore the house, because now I do have a couple others that I'm really enjoying as well, such as Hindi Oud, Musk Cologne. I think Musk Cologne is such a wonderful fragrance. Great entry into Bortnikov and a little bit higher tier perfumery. So these are the 5, man. These are the 5 that really kind of made me really transform my fragrance collection and really kind of bring a love and enjoyment to my collection. So that's it. That's how I kind of wanted to bring in the new year, guys. I didn't want to give you a top 10 or, the best releases of 2024, because realistically, I don't know. I didn't pay too much attention to all the new shit that they brought out this year, to be honest with you. Number 1, there was a lot. Number 2, there was a lot of not enjoyable stuff that I would have necessarily wanted to get my nose on or kind of rush out to buy. So it is what it is. So those are the 5. But highly recommend, guys. Drop a comment, subscribe, show that love to the channel, that growth. We're almost coming to, really shaping up the channel, and there's going to be a point where this backdrop is going to change. We just did a renovation, and it's going to look a lot different. So, just stay with me, guys. I can't wait to show you the new content for 2025. And, please drop a comment below. Let me know what you guys want to see, what you want to discuss. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Just want to say much love. Happy New Year's. All the best to you guys. Make your dreams come true. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Much love. Peace. Bye.